All right, so I'm going to get somewhere interesting in the scene, like right here, for example, and see what this looks like. Okay, to do this, let's go into the rendering tab. And set up the rendering. Okay, I'm going to switch out from software to Mental Ray. If Mental Ray is not within your list, you also have to go into Window, Settings and Preferences, Plugin Manager, and turn on Maya Temor. Maya Temor. Okay. All right, then you have Mental Ray. So the idea here is to turn everything to production quality with ray tracing at its max. And for the actual scene itself, this default will work quite nicely. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Let's just give it a little render, find out how it looks. Nice. It's a little dark. It's a little dark. I do like how I put that light right here in the hallway, so it's casting light this way, light this way. I might want to support that later on with an actual asset, however. Again, just for the sake of just showing you how to set this stuff up, we won't do that. Okay, so this light right here, I do want to duplicate it a couple times. Now, if I was to have a game with all kinds of dynamic lighting, and each one of these lights had to go off, you know, when I enter a room, the light is there and the light's beaming across. That would be so huge to actually have all those lights go. So that's why we do this. We set all the lights up in here, and then we texture bake it. Okay, so let me get a few, because dynamic lights cost too much. Much better. All right, so that's what you do. You get a feel for how the lights are looking with your assets. Make sure your shadows look really nice. And then we go on to the phase where we bake some textures in. Okay, now, I warn you, this phase right here, what I would do is save your scene as room 1B and save your scene as room 1C. Reason being that if you mess up on something, you always have a backup. And when you do this, sometimes you will mess up and you'll forget to not hit save if it's not good. So that just gives you a little bit of a leeway there. Now, what you do is go into lighting and shading and turn on batch bake Mental Ray. And you turn on the following. So bake to texture, yes. Bake shadows, yes. Keep original shading network, no. Use bake set override, okay, and this is the presets. I want light and color. Now, normally what would happen, you would probably have something like this, where the level's broken out, and each one of these are ran by a 1024 map. Okay. So this whole being this 2048, 2048, 2048, 2048 equals 4096. Okay. So each one of these squares, 2048 texture, each one of these. Now, being that they're one big unit here, I'm going to choose something a little bit different. I'm going to say 4096. Okay? Why? Because that's 2048 times 4. Yeah. So it'd be spanned across each one of these 1048 and 1048 this way, 4096, but 4096 in all X and Y. All right, now bake to one map. That way I don't have, right now I have how many textures and how many materials? I have a lot. So this way it'll bake it all to one. Final gathering. This is where it takes a little bit longer, but you might want to crank these up a lot. You know what I mean? Final gather reflect, final gather quality. Maybe just the quality of final gather. And that's if you have final gather on. Again, if you have your final gather turned on up here, this one, that'll work. Now, final gather will make light bounce around in the scene, so you might not want to turn that on. So as long as that's not turned on, you don't have to worry about this little option right here, final gather quality. Okay, normal 0 to 1. No, we want the entire range, and that's 1 to 1. All right, so this is going to take some time. There's no doubt about it. Again, you know, save often. This is room 1C. And I can hit convert and close. So come back in a little bit, and I'll show you what that did.